Hello and welcome to a quick DCS FA-18C Hornet video. I've had the simulator for about 2 weeks now, and I've been spending some time with the jet trying to get my head wrapped around it, master the various flight operations. Still not quite as proficient in flying a Case 1 entry brake pattern landing as I would like to be. It's a pretty wild ride on the way in. I actually find the Case 3 nighttime landings far easier because you're coming in with IFLOLS and TACAN, so you've got glide slope, flight path, all that other stuff, and you get a good 10-mile run up to be able to line up and configure for landing. After pulling off a bunch of those, though, I was starting, from experiences I've had in various combat missions where I've taken ground fire and lost heads-up display, one of my DDIs, or something else, I realized that I need to work and develop the skills for a visual landing, even worst case scenario, visual Case 3 landing in the F-18 Hornet. And I was thinking about that scene in Apollo 13 where Tom Hanks as Jim Lovell is talking about an experience Jim Lovell actually had in real life, where he had to make a visual approach on the USS Coral Sea with no instrumentation. His instrumentation had worked, but he'd shorted out his lighting system, so he wasn't actually able to read the instruments that he had available to him. And I've spent enough time flying World War II sims and, say, the IL-2 1946 Cup mod, flying F-9 Panthers in the Korean War scenarios, that I've made a lot of visual approach landings on carriers, but those are always in aircraft that are flying much slower. They weigh a lot less, although in the case of the Panther, it's got much worse throttle response than the Hornet. So, with all the issues I've been running into with the Hornet in this sim, I decided to throw myself a worst case scenario and simulate what would happen if I lost heads-up display and other instrumentation and had to actually make a nighttime Case 3 landing on the carrier. And it went pretty well. I'm not going to spoil things. This was all just live recording as I was doing it, and I hope people find it informative and can maybe learn something from it. The main thing is that I'm just flying this visually by watching the IFLOLS, watching the ball, and just flying the ball because the instrumentation on that, I have no idea how fast I'm going. I don't know what my exact, or I do have the angle of attack information brought up with the trim page here, but the main thing was I just needed to get the AOA indexer set, and I was just going to fly it onto the deck. And the Hornet comes in a lot faster than most of the jets I'm used to doing carrier landings with. And I was really surprised, as many times as I've flown a nighttime approach on a Nimitz carrier in other sims, I had no idea what the spatial relationship to me and the carrier was from the deck lighting. So it was very disorienting for something that I've actually done many times in other simulators, and that was quite unexpected. One quick thing before I stop talking and just let the video run out is this is just the Case 3 recovery scenario that comes stock with the game. This isn't anything custom, and they do have a full moon set up, and I was under the impression that full moon would make this easier because just better lighting, but the lighting is actually just pretty much a non-significant factor at all in this. In fact, I ran the scenario again with a new moon on a custom scenario, and it's actually easier because without the ambient lighting creating, you see those white cap wave patterns there and the reflections, you can actually see the carrier from just miles out the second you call to ask them to turn the lights out on when there's no moonlight. With moonlight, it was actually quite a challenge finding the carrier, and there was a good 10-20 minutes of this video I cut out of me just flying around trying to find the boat, following the navigation cues from the tower. So I'm gonna leave you here, and I hope you enjoy this and find it interesting. Maybe, hopefully, you can see something you learn. You see something you can learn from. I play this on a 2556 by 1440 monitor, 34-inch. So this is all downscaled to 1080p. Like visually, I had a good reference on the IFLOLS ball by about this point in the sim. I don't know if the resolution is going to come through in the YouTube video or not, but I was actually flying on the ball at this point. So I'll just step off and bid you guys a good evening.
1, inbound. Code 1-1.